no one in the village dared to set foot on the mountain after sunset. It wasn't that they believed it was cursed. No, their fear was something deeper, more primal. They said the mountain was aware. It watched. It knew. Evan, a seasoned search and rescue officer, wasn't one for local folklore. He had a job to do. Find a hiker who had vanished on its slopes a week ago. Sell. As dusk painted the sky in shades of orange and purple, Evan began his ascent. The first thing he noticed was the silence. An unnerving, absolute quiet. No chirping crickets, no rustling leaves, not even the whisper of wind through the ancient pines. The world seemed to be holding its breath. The air grew heavy, thick with an unspoken tension. He radioed back to base, his voice sounding small and intrusive in the stillness. "Base, this is Evan. I'm on the lower trail. Everything's quiet. Too quiet." The only reply was a burst of static. He pressed on, his flashlight beam cutting a nervous path through the encroaching darkness. Every snap of a twig under his boots echoed like a gunshot. He'd been on countless rescue missions, in treacherous terrains and chilling conditions, but this was different. This place felt wrong. He had the distinct, prickling sensation of being watched, a feeling so intense it made the hairs on his arms stand on end. He'd stop, scan the dense woods around him, but see nothing. Just trees, rocks, and shadows that seemed to dance at the edge of his vision. An hour into the climb, the feeling intensified. It wasn't just a general sense of being watched anymore. It was specific, focused, like a predator sizing up its prey. The eyes felt like they were right on his back. He spun around, heart pounding in his chest, flashlight sweeping across the path he'd just walked. Nothing. Except, were those rocks always that close? He could have sworn the large granite boulder he'd passed minutes ago was further down the trail. He shook his head, trying to dismiss it as a trick of the light. A product of his overactive imagination fueled by the eerie atmosphere. He turned back to continue his climb, and his radio crackled to life, startling him. It wasn't the voice from Bass, though. It was a whisper, distorted and faint, but unmistakably his own. "Don't get... ... higher." A cold dread washed over him. He grabbed the radio. "Bass, did you copy that? Who is this?" Static answered. He tried again, his hand trembling slightly. "This is Evan. Repeat your last transmission." The radio crackled again, and this time, the whisper was clearer, colder. It was his voice, laced with a panic he didn't yet feel. "It knows you're here. Turn back now." Evan's blood ran cold. Was someone playing a sick prank? A rival? He scanned the trees again, his light piercing the gloom. Nothing. He decided to ignore it, chalking it up to some bizarre radio interference. He had to find the missing hiker. He took a determined step forward, but his foot met empty air. Stumbled back, his flashlight beam dropping to the ground in front of him. The path, the clear-worn trail he had been following, was gone. In its place was an impenetrable wall of tangled thorns and ancient gnarled trees that hadn't been there seconds before. Panic began to set in. He turned to go back, to retreat the way he came, but his heart leaped into his throat. The trail behind him had also vanished. It was as if the forest had sealed itself shut, swallowing the path whole. He was trapped. A deep, guttural groan echoed through the trees, a sound so low it vibrated in his chest. It wasn't an animal. It sounded like the earth itself was stirring, shifting, breathing. The ground beneath his feet trembled slightly. The mountain was waking up. Shadows, long and distorted in his flashlight beam, began to move with a life of their own. Writhed and twisted in ways that defied all logic. coalescing into shapes that were vaguely humanoid before dissolving back into the darkness. They weren't cast by anything. They were the things themselves, slithering over rocks and between trees, drawing ever closer. The whispering on his radio started again, no longer just his own voice, but a chorus of voices, men, women, children, all whispering the same frantic warning. It sees you. It's hungry. Don't let it take you. Driven by pure terror, Evan did the only thing he could think of. He climbed. He scrambled upwards, away from the writhing shadows and the disappearing paths, clawing his way over rocks and through dense undergrowth. The mountain itself seemed to resist him. Roots snaked out to trip him, branches like skeletal fingers clawed at his clothes, and the incline grew impossibly steep. The groaning grew louder, the very air vibrating with a malevolent energy. He felt the mountain's consciousness pressing in on him, a vast and ancient mind filled with a cold, indifferent hunger. Hours passed in a blur of fear and exertion. His muscles screamed, his lungs burned, but he couldn't stop. He knew, with a certainty that terrified him, that to stop was to be consumed. Finally, bruised and bleeding, he broke through the tree line and onto the barren, windswept summit. The moon had risen, casting an ethereal glow over the peak. In the center stood a single, jagged monolith of black stone. As he approached, his flashlight illuminated words carved deep into the stone's surface. They were weathered and ancient, but the message was chillingly clear. The mountain chooses. Who leaves? Evan stared at the words, the full weight of his situation crashing down on him. He wasn't on a rescue mission. He was a sacrifice. He looked out over the edge of the peak. Below him, the forest was a sea of blackness, a living, breathing entity. The lights of the village twinkled in the far distance, a world away. His radio gave one final, deafening burst of static, and then a single, clear voice came through. It was the hiker he'd been searching for. "It's beautiful up here, isn't it?" the voice said, calm and serene. "You get used to it. We all do." Then, silence. Evan never came back. His name was just added to the long list of those the mountain had claimed. The next morning, as the sun rose over the valley, the villagers looked up at the mountain, as they always did. And on this day, they all swore the same thing. They swore the mountain looked taller. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy stories that explore the chilling mysteries of the unknown, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new tale. Until next time, stay safe and perhaps stay off the strange mountains after dark.
Hey everyone, thanks for sticking round to the very end of this story. If that sent a shiver down your spine, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It really helps the channel out more than you know. And if you're hungry for more creepy tales and things that go bump in the night, make sure you hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. I've got a ton of horrifying stories planned that I can't wait to share with all of you. Your support means I can keep bringing these nightmares to life. So, what did you think of tonight's story? Let me know your theories in the comments below. I read every single one. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay spooky.